Assalamu alaikum.
Like salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
We're here.
Welcome
Thank you.
to the Ascension podcast.
Man, it's here. Yeah. Got Sister Erica LeShai on the mic.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me,
Absolutely. Got brother Amin Muhammad on the mic.
Yes, sir.
Got brother Adam X on the mic.
For the Adam X.
On the Ascension podcast, the Ascension Lift to God podcast. And, I always treasure bringing the feminine half of God to the podcast because I'm not sure how much homework I did. Very limited research on you, because I kind of wanted you to present yourself without me doing too much assumptions. Mm-hmm. But I was like, all right, we're gonna have feminine God body, and every time that happens, it's always a good experience because me and him we're bros. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
And I love it. It is good and it's therapeutic for us, but you're not getting the entire perspective of God.
Yeah, it just brings a little bit of balance,
Necessary balance.
Facts.
Absolutely necessary balance. So we've had his wife on, and it's good. I enjoyed it a lot.
We all did.
It was great. It is, and it reminds me of not only is a black woman God, it's just she can't be played with.
Right. Yes.
She can't be played with. And we were talking just specifically about Muslim women. MGT is just we love them, we love y'all, but we're terrified of y'all in a good way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's because we know that we're going to be held accountable, and there are certain things that are required of us, and there's no slacking.
It's definitely a different standard when you're talking about Muslim women.
Yeah.
It's there's expectation there. With lost found women, there should be.
Yeah.
But they don't know who they are, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for them to hold you accountable to who you are because they don't know who you are.
Exactly.
But when you're talking about Muslim, you're talking about somebody who identifies with source creation and everything, and
yeah,
it's God level, it's different level.
It's a different level. Even today, it's I'm usually professional, but when you came, I was all right, no, this is professional. And when dealing with his mom, I'm okay, well, I can't come here with no lost foundiness. I gotta clean up. How do I look? All of that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it does. It matters. I feel like the thing with the MGT and the Vanguard is that we are taught to respect ourselves, and whether you are in the nation or not, any woman that respects herself is going to demand more from a man.
Fact.
For real.
My mom, she told me that every man has a king and a fool in him, and whoever you talk to is who's going to respond to you. And when you respect yourself, you oftentimes speak to the king and you'll get that. So you can go in any arena and get respect, whether you're in a studio, whether you're, here recording, or whether you're out on the street. How we carry ourselves as women, it really, really matters. And I wish, that wasn't a shaming thing. I wish we didn't call that respectability politics when it's just literally how
real.
life works.
No, for real.
You know?
We do shame it. We call it respectability politics it's a bad thing to be respectable.
You should respect me regardless. Yeah, you should if we lived in a utopian world, but that's not reality.
No.
Reality is no one is going to respect you more than you respect yourself.
Absolutely.
That part.
And we would be a lot better off in life, everybody, if we understand that fact is not going to change.
No, it's not going to change.
No matter how progressive this world get, it's not going to change.
No.
But we as MGT Vanguard, we have an understanding of that, or at least we should. And if we carry ourselves with respect, then, we demand that respect from everybody around us.
You said an interesting word, progress. And it makes me think that's what they call it, but it's actually the opposite of that.
It's regression for
It's
sure.
regression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Well, we mask it as progress because we think that trinkets and what we do in the physical is more important than what we have or what we are in the spiritual.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Use the right word, trinkets like that.
It's
You know
just
how some
trinkets.
people have words that they hate? I don't like trinkets at all. So that was so appropriate that you used the word.
Why do you hate the word?
I just don't like it. If someone tells me I bought you a trinket, in my mind I think 25-cent machine ring or something.
Very
It's gonna
much.
turn my finger green. A trinket.
I think a trinket is supposed to be cheap.
Yeah, that's what I'm
cheap.
saying.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why
cheap.
I don't like the word.
Yeah.
I don't like. There's certain words I don't like. That's so beside the point. But yeah,
No, I
I
got
feel
you.
you. It's cheap. It's cheap.
trinkets.
Yeah.
Definitely trinkets that they give us.
No, exactly. And it's supposed to trigger you because a queen isn't worthy of trinkets.
Trinkets. Right.
And the trinkets, not just in the physical sense, but trinkets and trinket conversations
Yes.
trinket pickup lines.
Yes.
You feel me? Actually, I know you feel me. I don't got to worry about pickup lines. You know what I'm saying? I don't got to worry about getting whistled at and all that stuff. Like, I'm good, you know? So that whole experience of having to deal with like the savagery of masculine niggerdom, you know, I don't got to deal with that.
My dad made me watch this movie when I was young. He didn't make me. We loved it. It was called The Gods Must Be Crazy.
Huh.
And it's about this indigenous tribe in Africa, and they're like living off the land. They essentially live in heaven. They don't even have a concept of the world progressing around outside of what they're going on. Some guy flies over them and drops a Coca-Cola bottle out the window. And they see the Coca-Cola bottle and they're amazed. It's like clear, it's like water, but it's solid, and they can use it for everything. Like they're using it to make paint because it's a perfect circle. They're using it to make because it can be used as a hammer.
Yeah.
And this at some point when they had heaven, now they have hell because everybody has need for something that has no value. Like this thing that they didn't even need before, now everybody needs it. So the father decides, I'm gonna go to the ends of the earth and throw it off, which is just a cliff, but to them in their concept, he takes him like a month or something, and he's gone. And like, but to me, that's the idea. Is like all these things that they give us really are just, you know, things that already exist on the planet. They manipulated them to make them into something that we think has value, but really it doesn't. And they can charge us to make us work and keep us as slaves. Like,
And
that's
keep us distracted mentally.
Yeah.
You know.
The purpose of the distraction is to hold up their infrastructure. And we don't realize that. We're so in love with the trinkets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like we live lifetimes chasing trinkets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is. It's true. And that's why people, you know, I don't know. I've gotten really like tired of like the hollow conversations, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't do a lot of podcasts and stuff because people get on there. It's not like good conversations like how we're having. It's what can I say to get clout and engagements and all of that, because
Sound bites.
everything is just hollow and empty. You know, and it's like I don't really care to indulge, you know, in those kind of conversations. And it's like deteriorating because we're supposed to talk and think and challenge each other. And like the scriptures say, iron sharpens iron. You should get better. But we not doing that. Like people just
we don't have a map. We don't have a destination, so we don't have a map. We don't even know that we need to be going somewhere different. We think that this is life and this is the end of it and this is the way it's supposed to be. Even though we see it's crumbling and we see it doesn't work, it's inefficient, we still don't have a concept. I think that's part of the reason why I like the Nation of Islam. Part of the reason why I like his podcast. I was telling him, like,
our podcast, sir.
Yes, sir. If you go back to the first episode of this podcast, the first episode is him and a woman that's Christian, and they're having this conversation just about God and the similarities,
right?
Not the parts that distract us.
Differences and what they don't like. Yeah,
not at all.
And I'm just like, I love that because for me, it's always been. Religion is personal. Keep religion to yourself.
For real.
Like,
for real.
Let's talk about building and let's talk about what makes, you know, the world a better place. How do we get there?
Right.
You know, save the religion for, you know, some other time. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't mind talking about religion if it's of a true to get an understanding.
Well, to me, religion is just what you do in your personal life. Like you get up, you brush your teeth religiously. You get up, you do your exercise religious. That's religion. That's yours.
Right.
The faith or the creator or these other existential questions, that's bigger than religion.
Right.
Absolutely.
But we minimize it to our personal experience. And then we call it religion, like, because we don't have a better term for it. But that's diminishing the power of it to me.
Right.
I feel like religion is such a small thing. What we need to be talking about is so much bigger. It's the universe. It's everything else.
Yeah.
And like that's where we get caught up. We get caught up in the small things. Like,
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
And then we fight over them. And then the ego says, I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Right. That's what it's about. That's what I was saying.
Literally all it is.
It's not about getting an understanding, because even if that is your process, whatever it is that you do, if I'm interested in you as a person, these are things that I want to know, you know, and people aren't really interested. They just want to talk and they want to be right. And that takes away from what conversation should be. It should be us getting an understanding of each other, not I'm trying to be right or like I want to hear you out. Like if I meet people, like we're going to talk, and it's not on some like, well, let me just dominate the conversation and just tell you and just talk. But let's have a back and forth conversation and let me get a better understanding of who you are as a person and why you navigate life the way that you do.
Exactly.
You know,
it's like to me, it's like, if you decide you want to wake up every morning and brush your teeth first, then work out. But I decide I want to work out first, then brush my teeth. We both have logical reasons why we decide to do it in that order.
Absolutely.
That's our personal religion.
That's right.
But everybody wants to fight over, no, brushing your teeth is the most important thing you got to do.
If you don't brush your teeth first, you're going to hell, bro.
See what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, why would I want to get dirty and then go? Why wouldn't I want to go clean up after I'm dirty? You know what I mean? I brush my teeth as a part of my shower process. Like, it's just all about what you particularly enjoy about your way of life based on your upbringings and how you were raised. Like, that's not a conversation that we should be having in generality. That's the conversation that you and your mom talk about because y'all got the same culture. Like, as far as, what we believe in, we all talking about the same thing. The best religion is do unto others as you would have them do unto yourself. And every faith talks about that.
Facts. That's the essence of it.
Exactly.
Right there.
And if we can get to that part, if we can get to settling on the best parts of each other and not worrying about the little things that we have different, imagine how much better of a world we would live in.
Be heaven. Be paradise.
Yeah.
Piece of paradise. So I have keywords that I just picked up. You said perspective. I think you said perspective. That's pretty much what it is. The ability to understand another perspective is how you expand your intelligence and your understanding and awareness of the entire universe.
Right.
Once you're able to do that within yourself, but then also other people, other races, that's how you truly understand. That's how you grow.
Yes.
Because anytime it's I'm right, you're wrong, and then I'm better. That's the psychology of this world. That's Satan.
Yeah.
That's literally the psychology of Satan.
And if you think about God as being, each of us are God having a human experience.
Yeah.
He's like the ultimate version of perspective. Like, he has so many versions of
divine universal perspective, bro. Yeah.
That's for real. Like, one of my favorite poems is like, "The revolution will not be televised" by Gil Scott-Heron. And everybody talks about it, right? Like, they talk about it. Revolution ain't gonna be televised.
Is it long?
It's not. I mean, it is kind of long.
So I couldn't just read it right now, right? It's not like 3 bars.
No, it's longer than that.
Okay.
And it's more of a spoken word type thing.
Okay, understood.
But what he does say at the end, what people miss what he's really saying is that the first revolution is when you change your mind about how you look at things and see that there might be another way to look at it that you have not been shown.
Man.
And it's realizing that, like, I see the world through my lens and it filters my perspective, but I can't just assume that you see it how I see it. If I really want to understand you guys, then I have to take off my filters and try to look at it from your lens. Yeah. And people don't do that enough. Mm-hmm. Me as, of course, we are all original people, we Black people, but it's like, I understand other cultures. Like, I saw a video and it was a group of white people and they were saying, like, they were asking each other, "Are you proud to be white?" And only 2 of them said yes, right? And the 2 that said yes, like, all the others was trying to convince them, like, well, you shouldn't be proud.
I've seen that, yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And me, as a Black woman, I'm looking at that like, that's crazy. If I was white, I'd be mad. I'd be hot. I would be hot, and I'd be like, why would you sit up here and say that you're not proud?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all run the world.
Why would you sit here? I mean, just not even on some, not even on some y'all run the world type of stuff, but on some, like, I'm me.
Yeah.
No facts. No,
like,
for real.
I'm literally me. Yeah. And it's like,
for real.
So I understand, like, some conservative white people who are mad and, feel like stuff is being taken away from them. And it's not on some, like, I think Black people are doing wrong things. But at the same time, like, I understand their perspective. Like, if I were in their shoes, how would I feel about this?
Nah, I wouldn't like it.
Because if I was in a room full of Black people and only 2 of us was like, I'm proud to be Black, I'd be like,
that's a problem.
What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
It's the lack of of understanding divine purpose. Like, God don't do things for mistake. He didn't put any of us here for no reason. We all have a divine purpose, and when you lose track of that divine purpose, you become more physical, more materialistic, and that's the way that I feel like that's the trap, that's the rat race where the devil teaches you to go for the cheese instead of trying to get out the race. Mm-hmm. Like we the psychology of us being these physical beings as who we are, instead of us realizing that we're a part of this web or this tapestry that connects us all. Like, then we start having these arguments and these petty, insignificant conversations about, the who I am and what I need and what I want, instead of what we need and what we want. And how do you make the world into this place where we can coexist?
Yeah, and on that note of what we want and what we need, we didn't open up in prayer on the mic, so we got to open up in prayer.
Let's do that.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. The Beneficent, the Most Merciful, and Master of the Day of Judgment in which we now live, thee alone do we serve, thee alone do we beseech for divine aid. Guide us on the right path, the path upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not upon whom thy wrath has been brought down, nor upon those who go astray. Amin.
Amin. I appreciate you having the organizational skills.
That's me. That's my job. Yeah. Like, because you can see like the flow is like I'm a structure man. I'm a Capricorn. I like structure. I set things up.
I knew you were an Earth sign. I said he's got to be a Virgo or a Capricorn.
I'm super.
I knew it.
I mean, in case you couldn't tell, with the Earth, us being surrounded by Earth.
I knew it. That's what I'm saying. You was putting down all of this.
I have to be reminded to do that. Like,
and he's a Gemini.
Yeah.
Super Gemini.
I'm an Earth sign too. So
what are you?
I'm a Taurus.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I'm a Taurus with a Gemini moon. So.
Oh, nice.
A little weird combination.
Yeah, that is weird. That's weird. That's very weird. Yeah.
Taurus with a Gemini moon and a Cancer rising.
Yeah, and I'm noticing with air signs, I have to let them be, or I will lose my mind.
Yes. Yes. My little brother is a Libra, and I just gotta let him do him because
you have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Air signs are cool though.
They cool. No, they cool.
We're like the balloon. We like to float, but we need the string.
Yeah.
We need somebody to keep us connected.
The Earth sign is going to be the discipline that help you get it together.
Yeah, and he's been whipping me.
They're going to help ground you.
I've been whipping him. I've been whipping him. I've been in a good way, but I'm whipping him.
Yeah.
And I have to. I even told his mom too. It's like I got your boy.
My wife, she's an air sign. We just float. We float all the time. We have a good time. Like we just be chilling. That structure is very, very vital. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's what that's what God put me for. It's like, okay, you're God, bro. You know they God. So set up the infrastructure for to allow the black man to become God.
Right.
And that's why I have our corporation that we're all part of, Origin Manufacturing. It's called that because we build in God.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. And I didn't, when I joined the nation, Allah put that idea in my mind. I didn't realize what it was at the time. It took me like up until what we're doing now in present time to actually grow into like, oh, damn, Allah put...
Even that. The podcast is Ascension, the lift of God.
Exactly. It's Allah's putting me in pocket to do it, and all I got to do is just this is a metaphor for what I do. It's just like, okay, cool. I'll buy the materials. I'll figure out the administrative stuff to what it requires to actually run a podcast. I'll do my homework. I'll buy the stuff, get everything, make everything, set the stage, then bring all my niggas to come through, and then actually create the universe.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So I don't have to worry like too much about like what's gonna happen. I just got to make sure like everything's set. I'm trying to think of you ever do theater?
No.
I'm trying to think. There's a role in the theater world, maybe a stage manager or someone who's just responsible for like y'all whatever. Just I don't know, producer. I don't know.
The blueprint or the skeleton. So
skeleton. Yeah.
Director? Is that a director?
Director's more of a Flory, more of a Timu type. Yeah, okay. Mine's more just like
hands on.
I think it's producer. Maybe it's producer. I think it's a producer. What a producer is.
Production manager.
Production manager. They get the financing in. They make sure the admin's there. I think it's production. So that's just what I do. And then I call y'all. Y'all come through, and then we get it cracking. And then Kingdom of Heaven is here. Yeah. But back to perspective. When you said that word, it just before this podcast, I had to actually do my job and work, and we were on a call. Had like a team meeting, and I'm a director of finance for Community Alliance for Family Farmers. So it's a statewide nonprofit that hooks up small farmers across the state of California, and we do a lot of advocacy work to get bills passed for small farms and black farmers specifically. So that's what I do. Yeah, and
necessary work.
Necessary, and it's it's a pretty much like it's like me and another black Muslim. Oh yeah, you met him, Rashid. Cool. Rashid at the farmers conference. He was the dude wearing a suit and glasses. He was the Muslim that was there.
I met a lot of people.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, you met him.
Okay.
But yeah, historically white organization. They got some Latinos, and they're trying to change the mix. So they hired a brother with an X in his name to be director of finance. It didn't really hit me like that's a pretty big deal, because I go in I don't hide myself.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm Adam X.
Call me Adam X.
I'm Adam X. Like I used to when I first joined the nation, I was kind of like scared to go around white people saying that, but now I'm like, that's who I am. Yeah. You feel me?
Once you realize you got an army behind you, it's like
it's you walk and talk different.
Yeah.
So I talk like that, and then just when you they know that war is on the table, and then if you press that issue, like it's just not going to work.
I love when like they ask me like, "Oh, so you're Muslim?" I was like, "Yeah, but like Malcolm X Muslim." Like,
Yeah, right.
they know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
I never said that before. It's a good, yeah, like Malcolm X Muslim. Yeah. I'm gonna start saying that. Yeah.
But you got to point the finger with it. Let them know their left face. Like we're all together.
Yeah, yeah, it's not just me out there.
Yeah.
So don't try nothing. But anyway, this meeting, we had a team meeting, a 2-hour-long team meeting specifically about diversity and something like that. So I felt a certain way about it. Like, I'm too good for the conversation. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I came in with that perspective, with that like, y'all just white, y'all just want to talk about what diversity is, blah blah blah. So I came in arrogant.
So you got to get humbled real quick.
Of course, I had to.
Yeah.
I had to, bro. And I'm glad I did it for this reason, so I could actually talk about this experience that literally just happened. So we're in the meeting, and we had the breakout rooms, the Zoom call. So they broke us out in some rooms. Mm-hmm. And the woman running was Latina. I think she identifies trans non-binary, something like that. I was too arrogant to actually listen to her talking when the meeting started. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, right? Mm-hmm. No, for real. So I was kind of like, that's the time I was on. So he went to the breakout room, and sure enough, I'm with this woman, this Dahlia is her name. She's like the one running the whole meeting, and I believe the whole meeting was about diversity and understanding. Two things that I did not come into this meeting with wanting to understand. I came in the meeting thinking I was too good for it. Mm. Yeah. So sure enough, the first breakout room I go in, it's with her, Dahlia, right? So we had to just talk about certain words, and we came across like words in the space of, I don't want to say diversity space, but just like in the justice space. So accountability, equitable, false equivalency, imposter syndrome, like all of the words that they throw around when they're talking about social equity. I'll say that right. Mm-hmm. And we got to talking about the false equivalency and what that phenomenon means. Mm-hmm. And when Dahlia mentioned that word, it came to me, and I thought, oh, false equivalency. Oh, that's when white people say stuff like, oh, Irish people were slaves too. Yeah. Right? So the false equivalency is equating slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, was some supposed thing that probably didn't happen with Caucasians, Irish slavery. I don't even know if that's real or not. But you've heard that, right?
Indentured servitude is basically what.
Oh, that's what. Okay, that's what they're talking about.
They were indentured servants.
That's what they're talking about.
It's still not the same.
It's a false
because
equivalency.
Then you could come out of that. You could work your way out of it.
Not only that, they never lost their identity.
Exactly. Their culture, their language, and none of that was destroyed. They still have all of that, so it's not the same.
Yeah. So it's a false equivalency,
right?
Which is a very real phenomenon that we're all familiar with. Yeah. So once I brought my own personal experience with like stuff like that to the conversation, and I realized it's like, bro, you're supposed to be part of this conversation. Mm-hmm. They need your perspective to understand what the hell is going on. Mm-hmm. Right. You know what I'm saying? But my arrogance at first prevented me from wanting to provide my insight when Allah put me in pocket to give my insight to enlighten others. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Don't nobody else talk about proper handling of people.
Nah.
So that's what we are all failing at that. We need to, we need to do better at studying and understanding what that means. It's like, it doesn't mean proper handling of your people. It doesn't mean proper handling of people you like. Mm-hmm. Right. It's proper handling of people in general. Right. And that comes with, respect and, politics and understanding and all of that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so we had that conversation, and then that spurred another conversation with her and another sister about their version of false equivalency is that like one of them grew up in the hood, and they were talking with another one of their friends or about growing up in the hood and having experienced a drive-by where people got murdered. Right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Which is objectively, it's a pretty powerful thing to be talking about to like a white organizational body. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like to bring up drive-bys. It's trauma. That's like, no, that's real trauma. Yeah. That's like on the level of like a sexual abuse. It's like real. You're talking about bodies.
They must have been triggered in order to even bring it up.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn, that's real. For you to have the fortitude to bring that up in a corporate staff meeting, like kudos to you. So anyway, their example of false equivalency was this person was talking to some girl, talking about her experience of the drive-by when someone got murdered, and the girl's her response was, "Oh, I grew up poor too."
Right.
And she was waiting for her to be like, "I grew up poor too, and I witnessed people get murdered."
Right.
That didn't happen. She was just like, "Oh, well, I grew up poor too." So just to completely invalidate that story by trying to make it equivalent with something else that you experienced to somehow make it, oh, we're all sort of the same. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So
it's total nonsense.
Nonsense completely. So Allah humbled me in that, but not just with getting my trauma off my back, because hearing that stuff, it's not pleasant.
Yeah. And
an accumulation of that over a lifetime, it really impairs your ability to relate to other human beings that don't look like you.
Without proper knowledge and understanding, yeah, it can.
Yeah.
You have to want to understand, though. That's the thing.
That part.
Like,
exactly.
When I encounter people, I have friends that'll tell me something, like we have a conversation and the conversation might have rubbed them the wrong way, and then they tell me about it later, like, well, I don't like when you said this. My first mind is to be like, well, you tripping because that's not how I meant it, right? But that's
No facts. No facts.
Before I say that, let me think.
Yeah.
Something I said affected her.
Yeah.
So instead of me getting defensive, let me try to think from her perspective and understand why she was offended by that and ask her why. And then we could get a better understanding of each other. But you have to want to do that.
Bars.
So many people, they don't want to. Like
No.
they know what they know what they know, and they believe what they know is the summation of all experiences. And you have to understand that, like, your experience is very different. Like, even though we are all three original people here, our experiences still fall under the umbrella of Black culture, I would assume, but they're still very, very different.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you were brought up. I don't know why you move through life the way that you do. And the same with you. And you guys don't know that about me.
At all.
And so too often we just assume that we know, like that everybody thinks or moves or reacts like I do, and that's where we get wrong. So
absolutely,
the willingness to like understand somebody else has to be there.
Be there.
There's this proverb in the nation that talks about the scientists who wanted everybody to speak the same language. So in order.
Actual facts, right?
Well, yeah. But he was talking about. They were talking about how because he wasn't able to get everybody to speak the same language, he decided he was going to destroy the planet.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the mentality. It's like we get so frustrated.
So what happened? Tell the story, bro.
He ended up creating the moon.
Okay.
What we know of as moon today.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
So
what was his name? Do you know his name?
Shabazz.
Oh,
he was also Shabazz.
That was Shabazz.
Yeah.
That is Shabazz.
It's a Shabazz mentality.
It's like Shabazz, my bro.
But it's like that is what we're experiencing today because we don't understand these stories, these proverbs. We are destined to like relive them in smaller ways and bigger ways. But the idea is understanding that we're supposed to be different because our differences is what makes the world a better place.
Right.
Yeah.
Our unique individual perspective coming out into the world and making the world and putting our mark on the world is what makes this world a better place.
Yeah.
Right.
If we don't do that, then we're all,
it's going to be a boring, raggedy place.
Yeah.
And that doesn't serve anybody.
No.
Because I have really good ideas, and when I come up with things, but then when I bounce it off of other like musicians, because that's something, that I'm really interested in, it's like, okay, here he comes with a whole nother idea that I would have never thought about.
Yeah.
But this is amazing when you put it together with what I already have going on. And it's like, but I never would have come up with that.
Exactly.
And people just have to, just be in the place where we want to understand other people and not minimize what they got going on because of whatever it is that we have going on.
That's facts.
That's what it is. What we got going on. Yeah.
Perspective.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like the Four Agreements, another book that I like.
Bars.
The four
Bars.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know?
I haven't read that.
You haven't read the Four Agreements?
Run through them. You know them?
Yeah.
I'm going to quiz you.
The first agreement is to what is it? The words. Be impeccable with your words. Be impeccable with your words.
Like that.
That's the first agreement. And it spends the most time talking about that because once you understand that concept, then the other three agreements become easier.
Yep.
Okay.
It's word is bond.
Yes,
essentially. But
exactly.
be impeccable
be
with
impeccable
your word.
with your word. And like a lot of times when we say that, we we talk about like to other people, like if I tell you I'm going to do something, doing it, but also being impeccable with your word to yourself, like not speaking negatively to yourself, because that was something that I had a problem with. I get mad at myself and be like, it's so stupid, and I'm having all these thoughts, and it's like, why am I talking to myself like that? Why am I not being impeccable with my own words to myself?
It reminds me of this book I read. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's about the samurai. One of the code of the samurai.
Yeah.
And it talks about how the samurai doesn't agree to do most things, because the samurai, once he agrees to do something, he knows that if he agrees to do it, it has to be done,
Right?
or he gives his life in the process of doing it.
Ooh,
You know,
that's what it is.
And that's how
what
it has to be.
That's
like,
how it has to be.
And I'm very serious about like my word. You know, like if I tell you that I'm gonna come and pick you up from the airport,
Nah, for real.
I'm gonna pick you. You don't have to. Are you still coming? Yes, I'm still coming. I told you I was coming. You know, and so, but that was the first agreement.
imagine
and
if
I
we
get
all did that.
No, that's what it's supposed to be.
that's how it's supposed to be. The
Yeah, that's
second
how
and
it's
the
supposed to be.
third, I get them the order mixed up. But I know the second agreement is to don't make assumptions. I believe.
I think that's the second.
But that's I don't know if it's the second or third. I get it mixed up. But don't make assumptions, because you know, instead of just communicating, like I could see something that you do and be like, oh well, maybe I don't think he likes me because he handed me a cup that was smaller or whatever. I don't know. You know,
that's real. That's a very real one. That's the type of stuff that type of thinking. That's
exactly.
real. No.
And instead of
he
just,
likes Amin more because your cup is smaller. You know what I'm saying?
whatever craziness.
No, for real.
But instead
it's
of
real.
just talking to you,
and
get a better understanding, I make this assumption, and I've built this whole false
narrative.
Yeah.
based on this whatever I assume. So it's like that's the second agreement. Don't make assumptions.
I'm gonna keep false narrative and then a whole thinking, and it consumes your whole perspective of that person.
Yes.
You've created a perspective of another human being based on something that's
false.
not
It's
true.
not even real.
It's not even real.
And that's why the
you thought
assumptions
of that.
is so terrible.
It's bad.
And then the third agreement is don't take things personally. You know, like a lot of times, like if I come to you and I give you the greetings and you just look at me and you go the other way, now it's like, oh, I don't like a meme. I hate his guts. I never considered the fact that maybe he was going through something today. Maybe he got a phone call and I got some crazy news and he didn't even hear me give him the greetings because he was so like immersed in whatever happened to him. So instead of me just assuming, well, he didn't say hello because he don't like me, you know, like, or he didn't say hello to me. It's like, don't take that personal.
This whole altered reality.
Yeah,
That's right.
Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. He's doing what he's doing because of what's going on in his life. 9 times out of 10, it ain't got nothing to do with me. You know, I saw a meme that was so funny to me, but it was this person reaching to the heavens. It was like, Lord, protect me from my haters. And God was like, ain't nobody think about you.
No, bro, facts.
Ain't nobody
Facts.
think about you.
No,
Go
for
sit
real.
down someplace, taking everything personally. You know, like,
no
ain't
one cares about you more than you care about you.
Yeah, like
no,
you're
for real?
doing the
No.
most.
Yeah.
And like I learned that, this is a sidebar, but I learned that so much from going to the gym. Like, cause when I first started going, I was nervous, right? I'd be on the edges of the perimeter of the gym. I don't want to be seen. I feel like people looking at me. Ain't nobody looking at me.
Yeah.
Everybody in there working out. They minding their own business. They're not paying attention to what I'm doing. You
Yeah.
feel me? I'm in
That's-
there. I wonder if they watching me use the machine wrong. Ain't nobody's looking at me.
No.
You know?
Those are the thoughts.
Yeah,
Which is
but
crazy,
those,
like
those,
how real
those are the thoughts that
those
we
are the
have.
thoughts.
And then the fourth agreement is to always do your best. You know,
Yeah.
always do your best, because then you can't be living with regret or feeling like, oh, I knew I could have. Just do your best, and then you won't ever be like, oh, I wish I could do this again, or you know, you won't be living with that feeling of regret.
I gotta get this book. It sounds
Four
like,
Oh, it's
Agreements
bars.
is
I'm surprised it
amazing.
sounds like a book you would like. Oh,
it's speaking to my soul.
oh,
like,
bro, it's the
these are
it's
philosophies I hold that I
bars.
never even
Oh,
thought
it's
of.
bars.
I feel like everybody should read it every 6 months.
Oh man,
Just to get a refresher, because it's a short little book. It don't take no time to read it. You probably read it in an hour or two.
Yeah,
It's a little
yeah,
short
get it
book, but
ASAP,
it's
bro.
good.
No,
You know.
that's the one.
But yeah, but
I'ma get it today.
it'll help us navigate, you know, and to not just be all wound up. Because I used to take stuff personally all the time, make assumptions, you know. And it's like, I'm not about to be living like that no more. That's a waste of time.
It is.
Waste of energy, waste of mental
Waste
space.
of mental energy for sure.
You're
And I know so many people who do it, so I know for a fact that it's a waste of time. Like I see it happening in real time all the time, and it's like you've built up this narrative that makes you angry, and the other person doesn't even feel some kind of way because they don't know the narrative that you built up.
because
Exactly.
it's literally your reality.
Yeah.
Like, how could I know that? You've just I don't
And
know.
you see them and they smiles, and now you like they smile and they being fake now. It's like,
Yeah, it's like,
real.
I don't even know that you got a problem with me. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird.
I haven't thought about it since the last time we talked about it, and
It's
you've
so
been thinking about it this whole
right.
time.
I literally told my brother that. Like, I had said something to him, and he saw me a week later, and he was like, he brought it back up. And I was like, you've been letting that fester this whole week?
You could have came
Like,
to me.
you literally could have. I mean, I'm glad you're talking to me now, but it's like, you've been sitting on this, getting mad about it the whole week. I've literally have totally... I didn't even think this was a thing to be upset about. But, I mean, we're here now, so... But yeah.
So many people do that.
Yes.
Most people do that.
That be the root of people's depression and like internal problems and traumas, is that there's all these narratives that are made up in the mind. And I call it, like, me personally, I call it mentally transmitted diseases.
No, for real.
Because I feel like there's certain things that is like very contagious. Like fear is it's a highly contagious mentally transmitted disease.
It is.
Soon as somebody just sprinkle a little fear on you, then it corrupts your whole system.
And black people, we live so immersed in it. Like,
Yes.
you see one black person running, we don't have no questions, we're not curious. Everybody's taking up.
Just the fear just consumes you.
I'm a victim of that too. I ain't gonna front. Like, if I see it, I don't want to know what's happening. I just want to know that I'm safe. Like,
Facts. And it's funny you say that because you weren't in the stampede during
was.
June. Oh, you was there.
I wasn't running though.
Oh, nice.
I didn't because I know that like running during a stampede is the best way to get trampled.
What do you do during a stampede?
And so I went over to the side perimeter. Like, I wasn't in the mix of everybody running. I made like a beeline over to the side. So I went over to where the buildings were, and I stayed.
Were
in
you
that
on the
little
main
corner.
street? Where were you? I'm curious now.
I was on what's that street that it's like the main street is Degnan. Yeah.
Degnan?
I was on Degnan when the tent fell over and everybody started running.
Oh, you in the same place? Okay. Do you remember what store you're at, or which part of Degnan you're at?
I was a little before the Sisters Marketplace, because I went in there afterwards.
Okay.
You feel me? But
So we were in the same location.
Yeah, I stood over to the side.
Yeah.
And I just watched everybody run by.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm like, I can't. I'm not gonna go and get into that and be running.
No.
I don't know where people are going.
No.
I'm not about to trip and fall and get trampled.
No, that's how
so
you
let
die.
me just come over to the side and watch what's going. And that's what I did. Both times that I was caught in the stampede before I left. You know, I decided I need to just get on.
It's time. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Most people's like, okay, that was time for me to leave.
let's call rising above emotions into the thinking of God.
No, but I did have to, because I'm like, I can't just start running with these people.
No.
Like, that's dangerous. So I did. I went over to the side. But regardless, you know.
We both went to Queen Amina. That's real.
Yeah, I went there
My mom said
afterwards.
it was so full she couldn't even get in her own store.
No, I didn't go in there immediately. Like, after everything was done, I walked into the store, because whenever I go to Lamarck Park, I always go in there just because.
Yeah.
You know, that's just what I do.
Yeah.
And so I walked in there, and there wasn't a whole bunch of people in there, but I did see Queen Amina. She was sitting there. And I saw Jalila too, you know, but it wasn't a whole bunch of people. It was like 2 other people that was still in there that hadn't left out. But
Your mom was a general during that time. She's like, okay, y'all got to, y'all don't mess up my store.
She was ready for war.
War, bro, war. Because I when I saw it, I ran over there because I knew that's a safe place. I ran over there, and then as soon as I got there, your mom was there. She's like, okay, I feel y'all, but don't mess up my store.
Right.
This is my store.
She told me she cut her foot and she was just limping around like, nah.
Oh, she got hurt?
she did. I saw her. She was sitting down. She had cut her foot.
Oh, okay. So we all cut smoke. Yeah, my store got ran up on. Not too bad though. Some people got messed up. I didn't get messed up.
Yeah.
I lost a bean pie, unfortunately. But I'll take the hit. Actually, no, I didn't. I ate the bean pie. I had to eat it.
I'm picturing a slow motion video with the sad music.
Yeah,
But it was
crazy. I
was
saw
crazy.
people walking around missing shoes.
Yeah.
Glasses and hats and stuff was all
Yeah, it
over
was
the
wild,
place.
bro.
I'm like,
Yeah.
because people just started running.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful event though.
It was dope.
I heard that it was such a dope event.
Oh, it was it was fire.
Yeah.
I was telling my brother we need to take that over. Like, FOI needs to be there.
Why? Yeah,
They
I'm
didn't
like
have security
why-
and crowd control.
No,
for sure.
we have it. Energy alone is enough to like make sure that stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So we need to know it has to happen.
Yeah, because when people see like the brothers up there, it's a whole different kind of like, okay, this place is secure and ain't gonna be no playing around.
Yeah,
that's
no
like
playing.
that's the attitude, you feel me, that you get when you see the FOI.
And they said the security force, people were saying they didn't even see him. They just had on black T-shirts that said security.
Yeah, no.
I didn't see any security.
There was no police, no. I
Supposedly
didn't.
it was 120 security guards.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I didn't see a single one.
And Lamert is not that big.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. You in an event like that, you have to have security.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ain't gonna have no police, you're gonna have like what do you? It's an issue, and we all learned that the hard way. You know,
Right.
we almost had to die.
You don't see the brothers in suits. It's like the children don't respect a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And then the security guards don't respect themselves.
No.
They're like,
because they just
I'm
there,
here to
just there.
observe
Yeah.
and report.
Yeah.
When everybody started running, they said security guards were running into my mom's store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, "What are you doing in here?"
yeah, no,
Right.
do your job, bro. And it's like
I
that's
mean,
it.
Technically, the
That
T-shirt
is-
security guards, that's
yeah.
their job.
Yeah.
It's just to see
They're
what's
just
happening.
there, literally to observe and report.
FOI are gonna see everybody running this way, and they're gonna go that way.
Yeah, for real.
Get to the heart of the problem.
What's actually going on?
Yeah,
Right.
solve the problem.
Yeah, for real.
Because
Yeah.
there's a whole different mindset,
It
you know,
is.
like when you know, being taught, like having the teachings that we have, it's just it's a different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Like you tap into something else. Like when I'm on post, you know, I remember Sister Valerie, she had called me once and asked me, you know, she had hoped that no one had offended me. And it was very sweet of her. I was like, but no, I wasn't upset. I was probably looking mean because I was on post. And I don't mean to look mean.
No, you just get in that mindset.
But
like,
yeah,
ain't nobody
like
doing
if
nothing
I'm
while
here,
I'm on post.
like if I'm in that back Vanguard row,
yeah.
you know, like I know what that row is for. Like if y'all sit somebody in front of me, this person has been acting crazy, and I gotta keep an eye on them, and I gotta sit a certain way, and whoever stand up to clap, I gotta stand up, and I can't sit down till
damn.
they
I
sit
know all
down.
that.
No, like
You give me you give me the secrets. That's what's up.
you
I didn't know all that.
I mean, I don't
know y'all was that militant.
Yeah, but that's what Vanguard is supposed to
Vanguard,
do,
bro.
and we
Okay.
watch.
See, I don't know.
security.
I didn't.
We
Only thing,
watch.
I'll be
You
clear.
know.
The only thing I know about Vanguard is that under 35 and y'all wear hats.
Yeah.
No, I'll be clear. That's
No,
all I know.
that's a
The Vanguard,
It is
the
a
Vanguard is the
security-
second line of defense after
yeah,
FOI.
exactly.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what we're taught. We're the second line of
Word.
defense after the FOI.
Okay.
And there's stuff that we got to handle. So like if I'm on post, like that's not like that's a serious thing. So the FOI they operate like
You
that.
got to be a serious person to take it seriously, though.
yeah. Yeah.
That's what's up. I mean, I knew y'all were
but you don't
soldiers.
want stuff to happen on your watch. You feel me? Like
facts.
something happened, something go crazy, and it's like, well, who was checking that day?
Yep.
Oh, Erica let all that up in the mosque? No.
I didn't know.
Not on my watch.
See, I didn't know y'all got training like that.
Not on my watch. You
Yeah,
feel me?
I didn't know that, bro. I thought it was more just like,
Nation is very intricate, bro.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
intricate.
and like on y'all side, like I don't look over there out of respect.
Have you ever heard that we're supposed to teach our babies to throw the bottle?
Nah, what's that mean?
It means that the line of defense goes all the way down.
Understood.
And if we're at wartime, your child is glass bottle because we ain't feeding them plastic.
I feel you.
Teach them to throw the bottle.
Word.
You know what I mean? And then they get older, it's like a kunai knife. Like,
Wow.
That was one of the things that drew me to the nation is I like
Go on with that.
I
yeah.
like discipline and structure, and I feel like it's not something comfortable, but it's something that's necessary.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs it, especially men. I
Yeah.
feel like men especially need it. We as women, we need it too, for sure. But like men definitely need that. But that's what drew me. Like I saw the drill videos and the precision, you feel me, and the unity with that, and I was very intrigued.
Understood.
I was very intrigued, and then I came in, and
When'd you join?
2017.
What's today? 2023. When did I join?
Yeah.
2019. Okay, understood.
So 2017 is when I, recited and everything. But yeah, that's what drew me in initially, is like seeing that. And I feel like that's what our world is sorely missing. Like everybody calls themselves like gods, especially like in the woke or the conscious community.
Yeah.
You
They
know,
don't even know
we're
what that
gods,
means.
we're kings and queens and all that, but you have no discipline, you have no structure. Like, is this how
None.
a god would navigate?
Yeah.
You feel
None.
me?
that part.
Like
And they limit
you don't
they
want to be
limit
better.
themselves.
Yeah, you limit yourself. You call yourself all these things, but you live like a peasant, and you're cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you want 14 wives.
Yeah, you want all these women.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But you don't want to have like the means to take care of them. And
Facts.
if a woman brings that up, she's a gold digger.
Facts. No, for real.
It's very strange.
No, very strange.
But there's a lot of rhetoric, about that in the so-called conscious community. But you don't understand that like having that kind of power comes with responsibility. You don't have power like that without responsibility.
And the power
Yeah.
should come first.
Yeah.
Before you take on responsibility, you should know how to be responsible, starting with self. And then you elevate to being able to be responsible for a secondary person,
Right.
and then a third person, which is your child.
It's always start with self. That's why it says to take charge of this post.
Yeah.
You feel me? This here
That's
post.
right.
Yeah.
In all temple property and
The general orders are supposed to be general. So they're also talking about self. They're talking about the mosque. They're talking about home. Like, take charge of this post and all temple property in view.
Right.
Your body is a temple.
Yes.
You're taking charge of your temple because that's the whole point.
That's really the point. There's a quote from this woman. Her name is Savannah Brown. I don't know too much else about her, but I do know I love this quote. But she says, "My body is a temple, and I'm the God it was built for."
Yeah.
You know,
Ooh.
and that isn't that a fire quote?
That makes me feel really good.
But that's what it is. So it's like they want to call ourselves gods and goddesses and stuff. Like, I had a video go viral just saying that we should look presentable when we go outside.
Yes,
we shouldn't be going out with bonnets and house shoes and pajamas on. And they called me anti-black.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Damn.
You know,
Not really.
Folks was really trying to cancel me because I'm like,
our condition.
but if we're so beautiful and if we are so black excellence and it's so dope being black, why don't you want to treat this the best way possible? The way that I look at so-called blackness is that this is a luxury item here. You know, like
real.
I have a car out there and it ain't nothing like too crazy. You know, I got myself something nice. I got a little 3 Series BMW.
Nice.
I wanted to have like, you know, the leather seats, the peanut butter, because that's something that I've always wanted.
Yeah.
Now, that requires a little bit more care than, say, my Corolla did. It had cloth seats. I didn't really have to do too much. But now with this car, I have to keep the leather right. I want to keep it clean. The maintenance, the tires and all that, it costs a little bit more because it is a luxury item. Yeah. These bodies that we have, our hair, it requires more effort because it's a luxury item.
Yeah.
Our skin, we got to keep it clean and moisturized. It requires more effort because it's a luxury item.
But the conversation that you were having, those people think of themselves as a nigga.
Yeah.
And so when they think of themselves as something that's diminished or something that's lower or less than,
they don't treat it as a luxury item.
Exactly.
But that's what this is. And you ain't going to tell me that I'm being anti-black because I know what I am.
Exactly.
And treat myself as such.
And one man's treasure is another man's trash. So if you're going to treat yourself like that, that's who you are. Respectfully. Don't tell me who I am.
But don't call that black culture, though. Like, if you want to go outside looking like a hobo, then put that on you. You feel me? Like, that's what I do because I like to be raggedy.
I'm still a slave.
But, you know, but if don't put that on black culture, though, because that's not black culture. That's just you.
Yeah.
Because black culture is us looking good, if we being honest.
Facts.
That's black culture. We have a history of being together.
Yes.
Facts.
You know?
A long history of infinity being together. Yeah, so.
And you think that God wasn't about the physical. He wasn't about the optical way things looked and stuff. He created this beautiful world we live in.
Oh, this world is so beautiful.
You know what I mean?
It's fire.
He created the plants and the tree, and then he wanted to experience it. He wanted to walk around on this earth that he created and look at the flowers and watch the sunsets, like the most amazing sunsets. Like, he cares about the optics. We should care about the optics.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to care about them because we can't. How are we going to get people to? We got the youth, right? And the youth look up to people that they want to be like, the rappers and the athletes and stuff that look like something. How are we going to try to win over the younger people in our generation looking like hobos? Like, they like, I don't want that. You telling me that if I do what you say, I could have what you have? I don't want what you have. You look raggedy. Why would I want to follow you now?
No, that's real.
We got to be about the optics.
We have to.
We have to be.
No.
You know, we have to be about the optics in every area, how we carry ourselves, you know, whether or not we take care of our bodies. Because that would be craziness. I would be a lunatic if I went into the gym and it was a morbidly obese person there talking about, I'm going to be your personal trainer. I don't believe you.
No.
You feel me?
No.
But like, so
I just don't.
The reason I'm able to give our people grace is because I understand that God isn't in the perfection business. He's in the perfecting business.
Right.
You know, he doesn't. It didn't. The universe didn't magically come into existence all at once.
Right.
Even in the Bible, it talks about it took him 7 days, which means there's a process.
Yes.
So our people that are stuck in that limit, that's why I appreciate the post you made and the conversations you had, even the arguments, was just like, that's needed because they need to understand.
So people brought the smoke?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of people.
She handled herself?
That was, I mean, I don't really go back and forth with people. You know, I don't have time for that.
I go into her comments and find the most interesting conversations. Like,
I'm not about to be doing it. You feel me? Look, I said what I said, and that's what it is. I'm not about to be going back and forth with you.
Unless you get very passionate, then you'll make another video.
I might make another video, but I'm not about to be going back and responding individually to people because this is what happened. People, they will straw man argument to death. You feel me? I'll make a very clear point, and then they'll be like, "Well, what about people in African villages?" We're not talking about people in African villages. Well, what about people that are homeless? Of course, I'm not talking about homeless people, and you know this.
Yeah, it's real.
But you're just trying to be weird and deflect from the conversation. So I'm not about to. I don't go back and forth with people.
I agree.
I'm not about to do that.
No. I do though. I like it.
Yeah, he does. He does like it.
I have the patience.
Like it.
I have the patience for my people.
He's a Gemini. You know what I'm saying? So that's his function.
I got a Gemini moon, so I feel you. But at the same time, it's like,
and I'll respectfully,
I'll about to do that.
I'll leave the conversation as soon as I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I'll say my points, and if they're not getting it, it's like, oh, I'm not going to continue to talk to a wall.
Yeah.
Either you're going to start to understand and start to realize what I'm saying, or I'm going to say something that you're going to realize you're not on my level, and we're not going to continue.
They don't even be wanting a real conversation though. What I've noticed is as people, a lot of the times, they will say whatever they think is going to get a response from me. And the more I respond to negativity and nonsense, the more I see it, because people see me responding to foolishness and they're like, well, let me say something foolish and maybe she'll respond to me. Yeah. It's like, no, I'm only going to respond to like good, well-articulated points and thoughts. Yeah. And if you feel what I'm saying, but there's something that you think, oh, I don't agree with this part, but it's genuine, okay, then we could talk. We can talk about that. You feel me? But if you just screaming in the wind, hoping that I hear you, no.
I'm not responding to everybody. I agree with you on that. I'll respond to arguments that make sense. Like, I can see how you got off the track on that argument, so I'm going to give you a pathway back to the track.
Right.
If you want to take it.
Exactly.
If you're not interested in taking the pathway back, then okay, we have nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people do that. They will be in your comments just saying whatever, hoping that you respond. And it's weird. I don't even know what that's about. But that's very strange.
Attention.
It is.
Right? I think it's attention.
Yeah, but why? Why are you so hell-bent on attention from me?
That's the reason why social media, that's like social media's bread and butter.
Yeah.
Social media's bread and butter is look at me.
That's exactly what it is. And look at me.
And the monster that is social media understands that, so they feed that energy.
They feed that. They built a whole infrastructure to facilitate that psychology. Look at me and like me. Look at me, like me. Look at me, like me. Okay, I'm going to do something more ridiculous to get likes.
That's why there's no dislike button.
Exactly. That would defeat the purpose.
That's why we call them followers, because we want people to follow us.
Yeah.
I don't even like that.
I don't either.
I don't even like saying that so many followers.
I feel like it's disrespectful to what the word followers means. Because that's not what they are. They're just people that are peering into something I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. They might rock with some of the stuff I say, but they don't. I mean, I wouldn't say followers. A lot of times I'll say like people that support. You feel me? That support what I'm doing, as opposed to followers. But I don't like that.
And then the idea that like everybody has, like, people have 1 million followers, but their 1 million followers intertwine with these person's 1 million followers. So who are you really following? Like, that word doesn't really properly accurately explain what they're doing.
What it is, no, but it reflects the objectives of the social media infrastructure. Correct. Just to keep you in there, and literally build a whole reality.
I know, because a lot of these conversations that I see on podcasts don't even happen in real life. Like, I've never literally gone on a date and someone has been like, so what do you bring to the table? Like, you feel me?
For real.
Like, if a man were to ask me
for real.
I would just be like, you know what? I'm bringing absolutely nothing. You can sit at the table by yourself.
You know what?
This date is over.
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah,
no one has asked me
that's that. Not a real. That's not how you talk to people.
Thing.
That's not how you talk to people.
It's not even something you can explain in one conversation.
Yeah.
It's like all of.
I mean, it's not even anything to explain. Like, you get to know me and you observe.
Yeah.
You feel me? And we know each other and we see what we like. And if I don't rock with it, then we don't have to continue this. Yeah. But that's like me sitting up trying to tell you is not going to encompass it anyway.
Yeah.
You feel me? Or me trying to get that answer from you. If I tell you, so tell me all about yourself, I will never, no matter how many words you use, I will never know all there is to know about you.
No.
Exactly.
Never.
No.
You feel me? A whole
and if I give you
library and anthology can be written just about you and it still wouldn't be enough.
If I give you all my highlights and all the best parts of me, you still you don't have an accurate description of who I am.
And especially if I'm giving it to you, because I'm biased
as fuck.
You know, I'm gonna be the best thing walking.
For real, facts. No facts.
You gotta get to know somebody.
So what's the point of these stupid? And that's why I call them these dumb hypotheticals ruining our community.
It's real.
I mean,
you're very on. It's not real. It's not real. It's something.
And they're always floating around.
Yeah.
Like another one that people was mad at me about was that whole question of like, if your man woke you up at 3 o'clock in the morning and asked you to cook a meal, what would you cook him, right? And I was like, before we even get to exactly, like before, because people just start to answer the question. I'm a good woman, so of course I'm gonna cook him a meal at 3 o'clock in the morning. Or the man like, well, these women, they not traditional, so they ain't gonna get it. And now they in the comments arguing with each other. But it's like, who even asked somebody to do that?
No, for real.
As many married people as I know, none of them has ever woke their wife up at 3 o'clock in the morning and ask them to cook a meal.
That's not real.
That's
psychology.
not real.
That is unreasonable.
That doesn't happen.
Like that.
That doesn't happen.
Now we got the whole black community arguing about made up nonsense.
That's facts.
Completely made up nonsense. Hypothetical nonsense.
And that's what I said. I'm not answering no more hypothetical questions.
No.
Don't come ask me. If your man was making only $20,000 a year, but the question start with if. Don't even finish it. We're not doing that.
We deal in actual facts and reality.
Exactly. We're not dealing with hypotheticals and what ifs. Well, if he did this, no.
But let's be clear. As a people, we deal in the realm that's not real. We stay in the dreamland.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like we don't want to. We was talking earlier before you got here about how we don't want to go through when it comes to building an empire. We want to skip the dime bag portion of the hustle. You know what I mean? We want to jump right to the bricks, moving bricks. It's like, the hustle doesn't start with bricks. You got to actually get the weight, buy small, find an audience for that,
learn
and
the
build
process.
Exactly.
Learn infrastructure. Understand who's your go-to and who you stay away from.
Exactly.
All of that.
Yeah.
Right. And then just being real with yourself, because I feel like people love to live in these hypotheticals because you don't have to deal with who you are as a person. Yeah. Like I saw men in the comments saying stuff.
No, that's
like,
it. That's it.
No,
right there.
but that's what it is.
That's it. That's literally it.
Men in the comments saying stuff like, well, if I'm paying all the bills, she better wake up at 3 o'clock. Well, you said if, brother.
Yeah.
That means that's not your reality.
Yeah.
So why are you even talking like this?
Yeah.
But you like this hypothetical because in this situation, you get to be the man that's paying all the bills.
Yeah.
So you could wake this woman up. Or on the woman's side, I get to be this perfect woman who caters to my man hand and foot. And of course I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You get to be whoever you want to be in this hypothetical.
Yeah.
You feel me? So that's why people love it. We love answering hypotheticals questions because we get to fabricate whatever facade we want people to see, and we don't have to deal with the reality of who we really are.
We've taken the narrative that Disney gave us and made it into a monster. Like the idea that there's supposed to be a Prince Charming and there's supposed to be a woman who sits around waiting for him all the time. Like,
that's not real. That's not real.
Mm-mm.
Especially in this world where most of us got to work. Everyone's got to work. Yeah. That's what it is. That's reality right now.
Exactly.
For the majority of people. I mean, there's a handful of people out there, but I don't think that that's optimal. I don't think they are happy like that.
No, for real.
I feel like I personally feel like every man or woman has a purpose in life. Mm-hmm. Your purpose isn't gender specific. Like everybody has a universe that they're supposed to be creating, and
that's right.
Until you find that out, you're not gonna be happy.
Right.
That's right.
You're not gonna find happiness in staying at home and just raising a child like that. That's
no.
a part of who you are as a person. That's part of your journey in this lifetime.
Right.
But that's not your goal. That's not what you were put here for. Like, That's just a part of your nature. That's like waking up and you eat every day. Like that's a part of that.
Yeah, and that's what I love about the nation is like we don't we prioritize our children, but it's like we're not making anyone just do one thing. It's like, no, you got to do what it takes to survive and thrive.
Speaking of children, book 3 of Conversations with God, he was talking about how he doesn't even think that parents should be the one raising children.
That's real.
The child is supposed to be raised by the community.
That's real.
Mm-hmm.
Grandparents are more efficient at raising children than parents are.
Real, bro.
Parents, until they're in their 30s and 40s, they don't know who they are.
Facts,
so
bro.
you're trying to teach somebody else who they should be, and you don't know who you are.
Facts, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
And being intentional too, because like a lot of people are thrown into things and like make do with what they have. But I feel like I had an advantage growing up because my parents were very intentional with us. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, well, we got this child and we just raising them up, or these children that we have. But it's like, this is what I want you to know so that you can be prepared as you get older. This is what I'm teaching you. It was a very intentional thing.
For real, yeah.
And so like, that intentionality is important. You feel me? And I do feel like just having the broader family there, like the grandparents, aunties, uncles, everybody that will help is a massive thing that is sorely lacking within our communities.
Minister Farrakhan did a lecture
Absolutely.
series. It was called "How to Give Birth to a God," and he was talking about intention. It was all
What'd you
about
say?
like it was just
Go
about
on.
not just having children for the sake of having children. It was about
Yes.
having children with a mindset
Yes.
of this is who you want to raise because this is who you are, who you want to be, and who you want them to be. Like,
That is like the first lecture that I listened to that like
that's a powerful
that
lecture.
really pulled me in. Like
word?
I was teetering like, should I come in? You know, I like
Yeah.
the discipline and all that, but I listened to How to Give Birth to a God, and I literally cried listening to it.
Yeah, me
because
too.
I'm like, this is heavy.
Me too.
Like, because even though I don't have any children, like I've been preparing this whole time.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like whatever you're doing, like all of that gets imprinted. Like, because we as women, we are born with all the eggs we'll ever have. You know what I'm saying? And so the experiences that we have, the traumas and all of that can get imprinted there. So it's like you got to be mindful of what you're doing.
What you
even
put yourself
before
through.
you're pregnant, you got to be mindful of all of that. Who you're letting inside of yourself, all of those things you got to be mindful of, and what you're doing while you're pregnant. Like
All of your fears, all of your ambitions, all of that goes into the seed. Like all of
Yes.
that goes into the person that's gonna be.
yes,
And if you're not careful with who you have in your environment, who you allow to impart into your mind, your child grows up with your fears.
Yeah.
He was saying that like, healing cancer or curing cancer is gonna come from a woman's womb.
yes,
It's gonna come from someone like, so that woman has to have anxiety or fear or anger or something emotionally attached to cancer for her child to grow up and have this desire to want to heal cancer.
Ooh.
And then that child, that's how that works. That's how everything
real.
that comes about in this
That's
world
real,
works.
bro.
yes.
Yeah.
And it is like the intention is important. Like when my mom was pregnant with me, like I've always been very like entrepreneurial, in
Yeah.
a sense. Like I started selling jewelry when I was 7. I went to Michael's and got the little hemp and the beads and all that, and was selling it to my classmates, and I still sell jewelry to this day. And so like that was in me because of my mom. Like when she was pregnant with me, my dad was literally working for City Hall as a custodian. But he always kept himself together. But she would make breakfast sandwiches and he would take them there and he would sell it. He would sell breakfast sandwiches and
Nice.
whatever the people's eating. So she was waking up 9 months pregnant with me, damn near, at like 4:00 in the morning.
With a hustler mentality.
Yes, making all them sandwiches galore. And that's what she's doing while she's pregnant with me. Then I come out and I have that mentality.
That's the
Like
same
I've
thing with me and my
never
brother and my
been,
sister.
yeah,
grind.
I've never been like, oh, woe is me, I don't have it, or I'm gonna figure out a way to get it.
No, that's right.
That's for sure.
Facts.
No,
for real.
So
Yeah.
all of that matters.
I agree.
So being intentional is so important,
Absolutely.
and being mindful of what you're doing.
I got this mentality to like, we talk about hereafter, we talk about, the way the world should be. And I feel like we don't understand that it won't be unless we make it.
That's right.
If we want a hereafter to ever exist, we have to start creating one.
That's right.
Yes.
And so I feel like with my children, that's what I want to do. I want to take them into an environment where they don't have to have any of the influences of this world, and they can come into an understanding of who they are without the restrictions that tell them who they are, or tell them what they're supposed to be. And then, you teach them about the world and the world around them, their environment, things like that, and allow them to naturally come into who they're going to be in that environment. Like,
Facts. Heaven is from the ground up, not from the sky down.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's one of the principles in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He said you have to begin with the end in mind.
Yeah.
And like you don't just start, like I feel like a lot of us, we have a lot of energy and we want to go and just do things, but it's like starting to drive a car, but you don't have the destination. You don't know where you're going. So you're just driving around aimlessly. It seems like you're working because you're moving, but you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to know exactly what it is that we want. You know, like I know what I want for the generations to come. I want the sacred ancestral forest to be like a real thing. And I want for my grandchildren's grandchildren to benefit from what I do. I mean, that's what the scriptures say. Proverbs 13:22.
I always look at the scriptures. They talk about things.
What was that?
Proverbs.
Proverbs 13:22.
What is it?
Says the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just, and a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Is what it says. So that's
I've always looked at heaven as like, every time we describe heaven, we describe it as a place that we want to attain, but we never describe it as a place that's difficult to attain. when you talk about the land of milk and cookies or milk and honey, it's like
Milk and honey, yeah.
you can have that easily.
Yeah.
Get it. Go get it. That's what you want.
Right.
You know, you talk about gardens wherein rivers flow.
Yeah.
You can do that in your backyard. Like,
right.
it's not a difficult thing to
You
attain.
can make it for yourself,
right.
you know. But like, if we're steeped and rooted in victimhood, which is why I really dislike like what the Black community is becoming. Like, everybody is a victim, and yes, there's we have been disenfranchised living in this world. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the only thing that has ever been strong enough to hinder us or kill us has been us.
Facts.
No one else can do that.
And that's why I hate the reparations conversation, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that they owe us, but focusing on what they owe us, to me, is a non-starter. It's like, if we're not talking about separating and doing something for ourselves, I don't want to talk about it. Because in our community, we buy Jordans, we buy, weed, we buy all these things that make us happy with our subsistence or our living situation here. If we took that money and did something and pooled our resources together, we could do whatever we want. We don't need nobody else. Like, we're allowing them to limit us by even having this conversation about reparations.
I feel like it's good to have the conversation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
But there has to like I said, begin with the end in mind.
That's
like
right.
Well, like the book says, you feel me? Like, we have to have a plan for this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because like I was working on like a song yesterday that I titled Blood in the Soil, and that's what I said. Like, blood, sweat, and tears fertilize this land. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so that blood in the soil is a deposit that our ancestors made.
I mean, I agree.
We come in to collect. But at the same time, we can't be just relying on that. Like, that can't be like we got our hand out, but we don't do anything else but
To facilitate the flood of resources.
To me, the idea that we should all come together to ask for this is like, we put in the infrastructure to come together. We don't even need that.
But I'm not saying I don't think that that's what the idea is, that we should all come together. Like, each piece on the chessboard moves differently.
That's
you
right.
feel me? So you might have a bishop acting piece that is working on that reparations, and they do that.
And they do.
And then you got the rook over here that's working with mentoring and having schools for young boys so they could have like a father figure. There's different pieces that move in different ways.
That's right.
So there could be people working on that, but that don't mean that all of us collectively, we don't need to do that.
No, I don't. And I don't. And I'm connected with the people who are involved in that, and I'm like, y'all got to post. I'm in the Nation of Islam. I got to post. Do your thing. We'll communicate.
Exactly.
That's military. That's politics. That's power. That's how power moves. Everyone's got a role.
Everyone has a
Everyone's
role.
got a
And that's
role.
one of the things that our problem is that like, we call people coons and sellouts and all that because they don't move how I move.
Exactly.
How I'm moving is how I'm moving. You ain't got to move how I move for me to respect your movement.
That's right, bro.
It's not necessary.
That's
you know,
right.
because I love chess. I feel like everybody should know how to play.
You know how to play chess?
Yes.
Oh.
My dad taught me when I was like 4.
Oh.
You know, but yeah, like, and that's how I navigate through life. Like, this is my piece.
Life is chess.
This is how I'm moving. Other people can move how they move, but as long as we moving collectively for the same goal,
that's right.
Then I'm with it.
That's
feel me?
right.
Like, I don't have to do what you do.
I agree. I mean, I think that in order for us to be successful, it definitely takes all types. It's gonna take.
It has to.
It takes a little bit of every perspective for us to get there.
It has to.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because we do. I mean, that's what we were talking about earlier. Like, having other ideas and having other people come in, because the world would be born without it. You know?
That's right.
Like, all the great ideas doesn't come from a singular person.
No.
You know, and so like, when we come together and pull these, not only resources is not just like finances and stuff, but resources is the collective thought that allows us to elevate the level that we're operating on.
That's right.
You know, so we come together with all of that, and we can make something great, you know, with good, like-minded people that might not be doing the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
But you just can't be on no detrimental nonsense causing division and all that. You know?
Yeah.
That comes with discipline, though. That's where we need the discipline. Because once we're focused and we got the discipline, and we're not having the idiots.
Yeah. I do want to give a shout out to the California reparations movement. That they're actually, it's a big thing. It's happening, and what it is, it's the conversation, because it's going to force all the things that you mentioned about what are you actually going to do about the plan when this flood of resources comes.
Yeah.
So that's why, I'm like, the conversation is happening. We don't have to be in that room.
No,
you know, we don't. And we're too busy doing what we're doing to be in that room to have those conversations. But the classically trained lawyers,
as long as
they're in there.
Representation. In
Exactly. And as
they
long
do
as
what
we're
they
in communication with them, like, here's the program. Here's the program. This is what we need. We don't just want welfare. We need land and resources and training to actually facilitate that land for a specific period of time, which Elijah Muhammad specifically articulated in the program, in Message of the Black Man.
Economic blueprint.
Yes, it's there. So it's not like we don't have it. And it's like, he's not like he said bad reparations. He's like, no. Y'all, we need a plan.
Yeah.
So we have to arm our own people with that plan, and then the military backing to show, like, we got you.
Yeah.
That's how a military works. Military isn't necessarily in every single room, but the military there to back and support the nation.
Yeah.
Right.
That's our job.
Exactly.
And support all of our people in all these spaces, including the ones that publicly may have had a falling out or whatever. I'm just thinking about Obama, stuff like that. Like, no, they're all pieces on the chessboard, and we support them all. And when they get knocked out, we put another one back in there, and we play another game, because chess, it's multi-dimensional. It's not just one game; it's multi games at the same time. And you may not have won that one game, you just run it up again.
Yeah,
because the black man's infinite. We're gonna end up on top, no matter when. It's gonna happen eventually.
Exactly.
Right.
So
It's
in
inevitable.
these bodies, our objective should be to clear up our own issues with self, to facilitate that process as expediently as possible.
Right.
And that's the time, and that's the time that God has put me on. Is like, are enough trying to do all this stuff to avoid confronting what's going on within yourself.
Right.
Confront what's going on within yourself now, so that you can facilitate the ushering in of my kingdom that I'll put you on if you deal with yourself.
Right.
That's what he's putting me on right now.
And that's it's so important. Like I took some time, and I feel like everybody should just really take the time to like be alone and think about why they are the way that they are. You know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of times we can mask it with certain things. Like we can mask it with other people. Most often that's what people do. You know, we don't want to deal with ourselves, so we get with somebody, you know, to kind of take away from the work that I should be doing on myself. But taking the time to like really be alone and by yourself and look at why I operate the way that I do, you know, why I do the things that I do, the reasons why I feel a certain type of way, and really get a better understanding of myself. And then I could be a better service to other people. Like when I go and I have conversations with people and get an understanding of them, because we want understanding from people and for people to, you know, be able to align with what we got going on. But it's like people don't even understand themselves.
Yeah.
We want we want to give each other grace, but we don't even give ourselves grace.
Yeah.
You know, we want to be kind. We want everybody to be kind to each other. We're not even kind to ourselves.
That's facts.
You know, so it's like
We don't treat ourselves right. We don't treat our bodies right. We don't treat our mind right. We don't feed any of it what it needs. That's real.
Yeah, so it's like starting there, and then it'll extend outward. You know, and it's not a selfish thing.
It's not
to take care of yourself. That's honestly the most productive thing.
It's responsible. It's responsible. You have to do that. You have to put on your own mask first.
Be the clean glass doesn't mean that you come in there shining. It means you continuously keep that glass clean.
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's what the scriptures say. It says, "Be transformed by the renewing of the mind." It don't mean renewed. Yeah. And you're done.
And you're done.
Like, I cleaned my house this one time, so it should never get dirty again.
Ooh, man.
That's not how that
works. You talking
works.
to him right now.
No, you gotta keep
because I've definitely, all
on.
these things I've done, I'm like, I cleaned it last year. I spent all day cleaning it last year. I gotta do it again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You gotta keep doing it. That's why I said read the 4 agreements every 6 months, a refresher to get
facts.
it, you know, to reignite some things.
Facts.
You know?
I definitely need to add that to the rotation.
Yeah, you do.
It's such a good book.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. So besides what's the name of the minister's talk? How to build a God? How to
give birth to a
How
God.
to give birth to God?
Yes.
What's the story with you getting reeled in the nation? Who fished you, or what happened? What's the story?
So it was a brother that I was dating, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead, you go.
Yeah.
It was a brother that I was dating that initially brought me in. You know, he was new as well. You feel me?
Okay.
And so he just wanted me to.
He was new to the nation?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, okay.
He was new to the nation. And it was something that he was learning. He was very much so into it, you know, because we were together. He wanted me to get involved as well.
Understand.
But I wasn't on that type of time just yet because my background, like my parents are pastors, now bishops. Right?
Oh, word?
Yes.
What type of Jesus are we talking about?
So it's non-denominational.
Oh, nice.
And so, and my parents, like, it's very different.
In LA?
Well, the church originally was in it. Honestly, it is up the street from the mosque. It was on what is it, Manchester, Normandy. It's called the Power of Love.
Oh, nice.
But
Okay.
it's literally up the street from the mosque. But
Cool.
But yeah, but my
Black
parents,
church mixture.
for sure,
Okay, understood.
for sure, yeah, it's a black church.
I grew up in the church. That's why I'm asking. I want like, was it because I grew up in like around white people, so I grew up in like non-denominational, but very much like multicultural, but mostly white people.
Oh,
mostly
no,
white.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I feel you.
No, you
But
know exactly what I'm talking about.
It was
That was my
black
church.
people,
Yeah.
you know, and so, but my dad, he never had like that. He taught differently. You feel me?
Word.
Like you know, that's the reason why I know the scriptures like how I do, because he taught us like, you know, that we are.
Yeah,
gods.
you know him. I could tell. You know the scriptures.
Yeah, he taught us that. Like I knew, like when I came into the nation, I liked it because it was familiar. It reminded me of what my father taught.
That's
me,
what's up.
You know,
Yeah.
because he would never, you know, the reason why I'm like all militant and all that is because of my dad.
That's what's up.
You know, so he wasn't one of them preachers that's, you know, got a picture of white Jesus hanging up, and then
That's what's
it was
up.
never nothing like that.
That's what's up.
You know,
So he's a good preacher.
yes,
That's what's up.
for sure.
for
But that was my upbringing, so I wasn't so quick to like leave that
feel you.
because I was in the church
Yeah.
heavy, and I was a musician. Like I played, I was a choir director, I led praise and worship and all of that.
I was in
you
the
know?
choir. Yeah, I feel you.
So that's what happened. But anyway, like I said, like the discipline, like seeing the videos of the drill and all of that, and then hearing some of the things, like hearing pieces of lectures, I was like, I'm gonna come by and see what's up. You
Okay.
know, I'm gonna see. And when I
Because of
came,
the brother that you was with, right?
because of the brother I was
understood.
with, and I respected his mind. He had been one of the most intelligent people that I, you know, had come across.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is something that he respects. So I'm gonna see what it's about.
Yeah.
Even though it's like I had no intention of, you know, I was the devout Christian. I had no intention
Yeah, of course,
whatsoever.
of course.
But I came in and I did. I loved what I heard, you know, and
Minister Tony spoke, you remember?
yes.
Okay, understood.
Mm-hmm.
At the old building?
It was at the first time I actually came
2017.
was at the community
Oh,
center.
community center. Okay.
Yeah,
Where we're at
that's
now.
where it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where I first came, and I just wanted to learn more, and then I came to MGT class and all of that, and it was cool, you know, and I enjoyed it. And I just started reading and listening to more lectures. Like then I was listening to like a different lecture every other day. How to Give Birth to a God was the first one.
Okay.
And then
You
I
want a
listened
Farrakhan
to
bender. Yeah.
yeah, and then I
yeah,
listened
yeah, I
to
understand.
Belief in Allah, which is probably like my favorite lecture of all time.
It's a good one.
I love that one. Oh, it's so good. But anyway, so yeah, I just started and I started reading and studying and all that, and I, you know, I just came in, you know. So
Okay.
that's how that happened.
In 2017?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, understood.
In 2017, I came to Savior's Day, and you know, just seeing that, you know, all these black people
Yeah.
together.
Yeah,
and they
Savior's
all
Day is a
looking
vibe.
good and-
Isn't that a powerful feeling?
Savior's Day is a
Yes.
vibe.
When I first got into like the hall where everybody was, I literally just stood in the corner and almost cried.
Yeah, right.
Look at all these beautiful black
Was Chicago?
people.
Remember, where was it? Chicago or Detroit? Or another city?
I think it was Detroit because
Okay.
I believe it was 20. No, I did go for the first. No,
Was it 2018?
Yeah, it was 2018.
Okay.
I believe it was Detroit, if I'm not mistaken.
Which one was it?
I mean, we don't get
I'm
many
not mistaken.
just like spaces in our society today where we just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
a sea of black people. Like,
Oh, yeah.
And it's all love. Like, ain't nobody acting crazy.
No,
or
not even
nothing,
close.
You know,
No,
and
it's
the
all love.
brothers got on their suits, the sisters got on their garments. Especially when I first came, like on a Sunday, and I saw all the sisters in the whites.
Oh, man.
I'm just like,
It's literally heaven.
as an adult,
literally
it,
heaven.
It tripped me out because like I spent time away from the mosque and then I came back in. But as an adult, like to see adult black men embracing each other with smiles on their faces is a different thing.
yeah,
Like
it's
even
a beautiful thing.
even in our society, when you see fathers with their sons, it's kind of like, "Hey, how you doing?" But at the mosque or in Savior's Day in particular, it's just like love.
Yeah.
Right.
We love each other.
Yeah,
It's great.
It's palpable there.
No, it's real. It's real.
Yeah,
It's
no,
real.
the energy just be high, and so you know, yeah. After that, I was like, okay, I like this, you know, and I was in it.
My vision for the future is like creating spaces where not only do we, you know, we fellowship as, you know, because Savior's Day we fellowship and we go there to hear the leader. I want to create spaces where we fellowship off times, where we just, you know, we're playing games and enjoying each other just like, as people and get to like experience what that's like to like
in nature.
in nature.
Because be very clear, that's like the one missing element is like we don't do camping
yeah,
and
we
nature
gotta
trips.
do that.
We have to.
I love
Nature is
hiking.
no. Are you kidding
Hiking
me?
is
Like, there's no
like-
reason why we can't be tearing it up on the outdoors. I'm talking like all the
Yes.
white people kayaking, all that stuff. That I like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm doing running it up.
That's what I want to do.
Kayaking,
I'm
paintballing,
such
all of it
A hiker, outdoors person.
all day.
I'm like,
all
that's
day.
something that I do
Biking,
regularly.
mountain biking.
Yes. Like I love
All
that
day.
kind of stuff.
All day.
You know.
I didn't know that it was
Might
a
be
thing
earth
that I
sign
liked.
stuff, you know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
That was something I really like. I didn't know that it was something I liked until, I went out there and I was, on the land, and it was just like, it's quiet out here.
No,
yes.
that's not white people stuff. We're gonna make it not specifically not white. We're gonna make it militant black people stuff. This is what black people. This is what we do.
Yeah.
This is our earth. We get to do whatever we want on it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So like that, yeah. I completely. That's what we're gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like that version and plus
Savior's
Savior's
Day all
the
Day.
time.
Plus Savior's Day.
Savior's Day vibes all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame that like people we don't experience all what's around us here living in like California.
Yeah.
Because everybody that I take hiking, they be like, I didn't even know all this was out here. Like you ain't never been in the mountains.
You don't. No, for real.
Like what?
For real.
No, I ain't never been out here.
For real.
Like,
My mom been taking us to pick sage in the mountains like since we was real little. Like,
Yeah.
we used to go out there with trash bags and
No, there's a psychology that permeates just the hood and just I see it in the mosque as well. It's like you're comfortable in that environment.
Yeah.
So you don't want to go around white people. You're afraid of white people.
afraid of
You're
anything that you
afraid
haven't
of
experienced.
anything. So you stay here and you're only comfortable in your bubble, and that's exactly where Satan wants you because you're not relevant.
Yeah.
Well,
I said it. I said comfort zones are danger zones.
Very dangerous zones.
You know.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yep.
His desire is to have us as his work first, not to enjoy what heaven he created for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping us relegated to the hood or to small areas, it works for him. We need to be thinking about outside the box. Like,
That's right.
We continuously think so small that we're allowing ourselves to be. That's what Kanye West meant by 400 years of slaves. Sounds like a choice. It's like,
Yeah.
y'all still slaves?
Yeah.
Come on.
No, honestly, and that was the biggest detriment. It wasn't so much that it was a physical slavery.
No.
But it's what was done to us mentally. We know that.
Yeah.
Facts.
And so it's like we have to get out of this mindset of feeling lesser than or feeling like we don't, like I love the term of us being original people because we are indigenous to this whole earth. Every square
Facts.
inch of this belongs to us.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And I can go anywhere where I want to be all up in it. If I want to be in the mountains, if I want to be in the desert, you know what I'm saying?
40,000 square miles of it.
All up in
Exactly.
it.
And so it's like, this is ours.
Yeah.
You feel me? This is for us, and I could be wherever I want in it.
How many square miles?
196,940,000.
All right, just checking. No, you got it. You got it.
57
You got
million.
it. I wasn't sure if you got the 940. Oh, but you got it. All right.
139,685,000 square miles of water.
All right, you good.
Okay.
He's a nation, baby. All right, you win, bro.
I don't want to win. I don't need a trophy.
I understand.
I got the whole thing.
Yeah, facts,
I
bro.
feel
No,
you.
for real. We got the planet.
But
We got the universe, to be clear. We
Universe.
got the universe.
Yeah, this is just our throne.
Hey, bro. For real.
This is where we command from.
For real.
You know?
For real. For real, for real, for real.
And that's just the physical, right? Mm-hmm. If you think about the fact that God is all of the something and all of the nothing, we got infinite
it's a whole
space
lot,
to
bro.
continue to build from.
Whole
Right.
lot.
And there's more nothing than there is something.
It's a whole lot. That's right.
We're surrounded. The universe is a little bitty thing, and it's surrounded by nothing to infinity. Mm-hmm. That gives so much potential for we are all God's children of the Most High God.
It's a lot.
For us to go out there and build.
It's a lot.
Right.
And it's ever expanding.
For real, bro.
It don't stop.
It don't stop.
Come on now.
Don't stop.
No, seriously. And that's why I feel like getting out of like the 3-dimensional like way of like looking at life is important, because I'm very big on like cosmology, and
Cosmology. What is cosmology?
like the study of the cosmos.
Stars?
Yeah, study
What's
of
the
like,
difference between
universe.
okay, not astrology. Astrology is Capricorn.
Astrology is the signs.
Cosmology.
Cosmology.
What
is,
study of the planets? Is that cosmology?
It's more so study of the cosmos, like the universe and how it works,
Understood.
and like
Okay.
the dark matter and dark energy and stuff like that.
Astronomy.
Astronomy
Okay.
is
There we go.
is another science as well that's closely related to that, but I'm really big on that, like what talks about like the different dimensions, because I fully
Yeah.
believe that we live in this 3-dimensional world, like the earth itself, and we have these 3-dimensional bodies, but I feel like the higher self within us is at least 6-dimensional.
Yeah.
And I fully believe that because I think of the way like that the radio works, like if we're tuned into a radio station, like we hear whatever station we're listening to, but that doesn't stop all the other stations from existing.
Yeah.
They all exist. They're just there on a different frequency that we have to be tuned into. And I feel like the 3-dimensional world is a frequency on its own. And in order for you to experience other different frequencies, you have to be outside of that 3-dimensional space, because they say that the fourth dimension is like space time. So once you go above that, you're not confined to space time anymore.
That's right.
Like you're not confined to being limited by space or being limited by time. And that's why I feel like our thoughts and our emotions are so important, because it has to be at least 6-dimensional. I feel like that's why thought travels so fast.
Facts.
Because it's not confined to space time.
That's right.
It doesn't have to travel through space.
Okay.
It instantaneously goes wherever it wants to, because it's not confined to that.
Your girl's on Mother Tanetta time right now.
Yeah,
I love Mother Tanetta.
She's the truth.
I know.
She's the truth.
Yes.
She's the truth. That's where when you start like thinking and like talking like Mother Tanetta, that's like the next level of the nation. You get in with how to eat to live, but then once you start
that's
submitting,
where we're at. That's where we need to be.
But that's literally what I believe fully. Like, and I know that all the people that have been successful that they've interviewed, they've asked them. They've asked Kevin Hart, they've asked Tyler Perry, Conor McGregor, all sorts of people, Missy Elliott. Did you see yourself here? And all of them was like, yes. Yes, I saw myself being here.
How do you get there if you don't see yourself there?
Exactly. You can't be. I feel like this 3-dimensional world is the second creation. Everything that happens in the 6th dimension. It happens in a higher level of that, like it's the dimension of like faith and where our emotions and all of that abides. And if you think about it there, it has to become real and actualized there in order for it to manifest in this 3-dimensional world. Because if you look at it, everything that we see is a manifestation of thought. You feel me? This plant's manifestation of God's thought. Phones.
If you break it down to like a simple level, I look at it like we jump in our car and just start driving, but expect to get to a destination we want to get to. It's like even when we start using MapQuest, that's mapping out the place we want to go, and we see it, we go there. Like if you don't do that part of the process, how you gonna get there?
Exactly.
You have to map it out in your head, and you have to know where you want to go.
And
you know
that's the
where
first
to turn
creation.
right, left.
And that's why I love belief in Allah, because that's what that lecture talks about.
Yeah.
It talks about thought concept. And he says that when you have like the root word of conception is concept. Like when a woman conceives, like she says she's conceived, that's what he talks about. And these ideas that we have, you know, everything of consequence is developed in darkness. The triple darkness of the mind is where the thoughts that brings forth everything is developed.
Yeah.
And the triple, like the darkness of the womb, is where life is developed.
Yeah.
So that 6-dimensional space of thought, emotion, or whatever that travels instantaneously because it's not confined to space-time, you know, we have to be thinking on that level, because that's what's going to get us what we want here in the 3-dimensional world.
Amen.
You know?
I need to start studying cosmology.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you that they talk about the dimensions is such a...
It's real. And I
It's
want to
so
say,
real.
I'm going to ask you a series of one question after I get this off, because I listened to the minister this morning, Final Call Radio, and one thing that really struck me, or maybe it wasn't, something that came from the minister today was this physical material reality is a reflection of what's going on spiritually.
Yes.
So I heard that today, and
Wow.
what you are talking about is literally that. So I want to ask you, when you're dreaming, your recent slate of dreams this year, what's going on? Like, is it? Sorry, it's a lot. Sorry, that's a deep question.
It's
but
not.
What's
It's
happening?
a deep question, but
I could tell
dreams are so important to me.
I agree.
Very important.
So,
What are you learning? What are you going through right now? What are you seeing? Not just with you, but like in that dimension, and the different dimensions too. You float. Like, so what?
Yes.
What are your observations? What's going on? What do you see?
What I see, like, the dreaming is one of the things that made me solidify this belief in all these different dimensions, because I have deja vu a lot, and for me, deja vu is not. I had a feeling, or this feels familiar. That's not deja vu to me. Deja vu is this exact what
Scenario.
I'm seeing here.
Happened.
I dreamed it months ago.
Yeah, no,
That's deja vu
what it
for
is.
me.
I've
You
had
feel me?
That happens to me quite a
And
bit.
so, yes, that happens to me often. And so, when I have deja vu, that lets me know that,
You walking in your purpose.
yeah, it lets me know that, like, yeah, I'm walking in my purpose,
Yeah.
and that, like, the higher dimensional or the 6-dimensional self, because everybody talk about your higher self.
Yeah.
Literally, your higher 6-dimensional self is able to travel throughout space time, you know, because the way that I look at time is that it's not necessarily linear. Like, time is, you know, it's not linear. So there's all these different branches, just the same way that the radio is. You know, you have all these
Facts.
different frequencies. And so when I'm sleeping, the 6-dimensional self can travel further down the line and see things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's what I believe is happening when I have deja vu. So I feel like dreaming is very important. And I feel like people who can dream and have vivid dreams are able to, like, navigate and make things happen in their dreams. I feel like they have an ability to create in the real walking life. You feel me?
I was just telling him this morning.
Dreams are so important.
I know y'all think that I'm here, but I'm not here.
Fact, you got to answer my. I want more specific. I want to see if there's any. Okay,
I'll
but you go on your point, and then you got to be more specific. Because you'll see why. But go. What was your point? Yeah.
I woke up this morning because I knew I had to do the podcast, and I was like, in this vision of what I want to be doing, and I was like, no, I'm going back to sleep because I need to finish that. And it was like the meeting I told y'all about the other day where I had the concert idea. Mm-hmm. So this morning specifically, I had the vision of literally where I want to put this on that day. Like, so celebrities are going to be parked over here, so they'll have their cabins and everything over here. And like, I was like, no, I need to finish that thought so I can see it and know how to make it happen. Like,
and then talk to me so he'd actually do the shit.
It's so important
because the shit won't happen.
You have to see it, man. Like anything that I've ever wanted, like I write down what I desire, and when I pray, I meditate and I close my eyes and see it. And if I could see it in my mind's eye, then it's real to me. Exactly. It's already happened. Exactly. It's not like, I'm just doing a visualization exercise. No, I saw it already.
Yeah.
You know, like when people like talk to me and be like, how come you're not married yet? You're not worried about you? I've seen them. I ain't got to worry about that. Yeah. I saw them already. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So that's not something that I have to be super concerned with because that happens. I already saw it.
I've had visions of riding on my land with my horse and my daughter next to me. Like, so I know
I've seen these things. And because I've seen it, it is real. And that's literally how I feel. But in regards to like the dreams, I have dreams and they'll literally dictate how I move throughout life.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
I've had 3 dreams that I consider to be prophetic, and I had one earlier this year, and the overall theme of it was to have confidence. I really believe that Allah came to me in a dream and showed me what I needed to do in order to have like the confidence that I needed in order to get things done.
Yeah.
So I feel like dreams is another way that like the higher self, like the 6th-dimensional self, that is aware of what happens in the future because it's not confined to time. It helps to communicate what we need to do in order to just navigate and get to the point where we want to be in life.
I think it's like you process. So like you have this idea that can come from a dream or come from reality that you want. It's a desire. And then things happen throughout your day that can either add to that idea or take away from that idea. But you are so busy paying bills and doing all these different things. When you sleep, you're able to put those things into like practical application and process them.
Right.
If you're not having aberrated dreams.
Yeah.
You're not having dreams where your mind is being triggered by all your different issues.
It's really clearing out the mind so that you can hear clearly from your higher self. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the more you pay attention to it, like the more it will become an apparent thing. Because like when I have certain dreams, I'll wake up and I'll write them down. Yeah. Because I don't want to forget them. And it's like I feel like the more that I do these things, the more that I have it. Like it's like exercise, you know, exercising a muscle, so to speak. I feel like in my dreams, that's the practice field. Like if I have a dream where I'm someplace I don't want to be. I remember I had a dream I was back at my high school and I was walking around, but I didn't have any clothes on, and I just had a suitcase, right? And I was like, this is a strange dream. And I was like, I don't like this. And I was like, well, I got the suitcase, and I pushed it away, right? And I was like, I don't want to be here. That's what I said in my dream, and then the whole dream went white. It was just a white space, and I was like, I want to be at the beach. And then beach flooded in, and I was sitting in the sand. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, this is the kind of dream that I want to have. Yep. And I feel like the dream space is practice for you to create and construct the world that you want.
Facts.
Because if you can sit down and visualize what you want, and if you can see it in your mind's eye, it's been so many things that I saw before it happened. Like I wanted that car, and I wanted the peanut butter seats. It's specifically what I wanted, and I saw it. And then it happened. Yeah. The place that I got into, like I wanted a nice place that had a nice little view or whatever. I saw it first when I visualized it, and then it became a real thing. Like this has happened to me too many times for it to be coincidence. Mm-hmm. So I know once I get to visualizing and I see something that it's gonna happen further down the line, but I've already seen it.
I was telling my wife, women are actually better at that than men. Yeah. Women are really good at manifesting because they are creators. They're co-creators with God. They're the womb. That tap in. Once they see it, they can make it happen if they desire to make it happen.
Facts.
Like we got to be a little bit more practical. We got to be a little bit more methodical with it, but y'all can actually just vision it and feel it and make it happen and bring it into reality. It's a powerful
That's
thing.
why it's, to assume that we're going to be able to build a universe without women is absurd.
Oh, for sure.
It's
What?
completely absurd.
Who would even assume such a thing?
Yeah, that's true. Huh?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want to start getting into the trans argument and all of that, but there are narratives out there where science can help, and it's so
Those people are
unbalanced.
going to destroy themselves before that ever even becomes a thing.
Yeah,
That's what's gonna happen.
That's what it's literal destruction.
Because you can't,
It's destruction.
You're going to destroy yourself.
It's a tree that bears no fruit.
You're destroying yourself, and it's like you're physically destroying yourself because you're going and having your body mutilated to facilitate your confusion.
Yeah. That's literally what it is.
It's confusion.
It is total and complete confusion.
It's confusion.
How could you say, as a man, that you feel like a woman? You don't know what being a woman feels like. I can't tell you that I feel like a man. I have no idea what being a man feels like.
No.
No more than you could tell me what it's like to be an ant.
Facts. Like it's ridiculous. So ain't nobody got time for that, honestly.
No. But on that note, I do want to say I'm interested in exploring their perspective, and I'll be very clear because I came into that conversation at work today with this psychology. So now I'm more like, okay, I feel you. I'm interested in actually learning more about your perspective.
Well, yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
The balance is not looking down on the person who thinks that way, or disrespecting them.
Yeah.
Because if that's where they want to go with their life, if you're deciding that you want to live a destructive life,
Yeah.
as long as it doesn't conflict with my life, I'm not going to stop you.
Exactly.
But I do need to understand at least the idea that that's not a positive or that's not a constructive way to live.
Right. Yeah.
Just for myself.
But
I understand.
I feel like we've gotten past that point as a society,
Some of us.
because there's a point, like there's a tolerance type of deal, like okay, you do what you do as long as it affects you, I'm not tripping. You feel me? It doesn't do nothing to me. And I feel like that's where the majority of society is. But then there's a further push of like, now what you're doing is affecting me.
Yeah, when you start talking about the children.
And affecting me as a woman. Like I go into a place that's supposed to be for women only, and it's not only women in there.
No.
Or you don't want to call mothers. You want to call them chest feeders and birthing people.
Yeah.
You're affecting me now.
I
that's real.
saw a protest the other day, and it was like, we're here, we're queer, and we're coming for your children.
I saw that too.
It's like you guys are
That's what I'm
actively
saying.
trying
So it's
to
like,
affect.
There's a difference between like wanting to understand you and like, and there's a difference between that and just the reality.
Yeah.
Facts.
Reality is reality. You feel me? And so there are things that are just universal truths.
That's right.
That it's not a social construct because we didn't come up with this.
No.
This is just what it is.
Biological nature.
And nothing's going to change it. You feel me?
That's right.
And so like, I don't mind getting an understanding of what people went through, like their upbringing and what brought them to that point. But I'm not with normalizing things that are outside of the natural order of the way that just the universe works.
Yeah.
No, for
You know,
real.
like not just us. Like look at these plants. They have a female and a male. They have the seed and all that. You know, that has to be like, it works with everything.
I agree.
That's right.
Literally everything on earth works like that. So we're not about to act like this is a social construct
for
or
real.
whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll you do what you want to do as long as it only affects you.
That's real.
But once it start affecting me and then you start trying to change
Mathematics.
universal
Thank you.
truths
No,
and
you're trying to change mathematics.
we're not about to do that because some things are constants.
That's right.
And they're just not going to change.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
So that's where I'll draw the line with that.
Yeah.
They're drawing the line. We're just not accepting that they can come on this side.
Yeah, and like now you got doing the most. Like nobody got time for that. You know?
No, we don't.
Because I mean, if that's the case, it has to be drawn somewhere. Because now they're trying to add this minor attracted people. Like if I could tell you that I feel like if I could tell you that I feel like a man, why can't I feel like a young man? Why can't I feel like a little boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and want to deal with little girls because that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Who's going to tell me I'm wrong now?
Right.
Where are we drawing the line here?
There is no lines.
So
Apparently.
that's what I'm saying. We ain't about to sidestep reality. Like
No, that's real.
I'll hear you out.
Yeah.
But once you start trying to sidestep reality, that's where I'm like, all right, nah.
Yeah, but we're dealing with people who are already, they live outside, that they're not in reality anymore, and that's
They're in reality for sure. They pick
understand.
and choose. Like no, people aren't objective. You know, like
There we go.
stuff is based on how I feel. Like I'll be on reality today when I feel like it.
No, for real.
But tomorrow when it benefits me, then I'm gonna say something that's totally against what
That's
makes
real.
sense.
And I reduce it. It's childishness. It's like you don't want to accept reality for what it is. You want to live in your fantasy.
Yeah, it's selfishness.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm going to do this. It doesn't matter the effects that it has on society or other people or anything like that. Like, I want to be comfortable. You know, they say they want to be comfortable, like in women's spaces. They want, like, the trans women want to come into our spaces. Why is your comfort more important than mine?
That's real.
Why does your reality, so to speak, trump my reality?
That's real.
My reality is that you're walking in here with a male appendage.
Yeah.
But for some reason, your reality, that you don't have one, or that you're whatever you're identifying as a woman, is somehow more important or more valid than mine. Why is that the case? Why is that the case? Why do I have to sidestep what I believe to be true in order for you to live comfortably?
You don't. That's the facts.
You know,
They will have you believe you do.
but but stuff is changing. Like, as a woman, I see how things are changing, because like with you guys, it's not a whole bunch of trans men coming in trying to infringe in y'all spaces. It's not a bunch of women coming where y'all
That's
at,
true.
trying to be play basketball and all that.
Yeah.
No, I
Or
agree.
swim, because we as women know, you know, or at least some of us do have enough sense to know that we ain't competing with y'all in certain things.
I think the war is just different on each front. I think that our enemy has become crafty, and he's like he said, we're playing multiple games of chess at the same time.
Absolutely.
So there's certainly an attack on black women, and there's certainly an attack on black men. But those attacks have to be different because those adversaries are different.
Right.
That's right.
You know, and I think
Absolutely.
You know, the idea for men is just kill them. Like that's their plan for black men is just kill them. Like,
kill 'em.
They don't have a whole lot of intricate plans for controlling us.
But they want to for sure keep us around.
Yeah, they
Because
need you all to keep them into the future.
We are golden, yeah.
Absolutely.
Like what we got. I mean, you guys too. You feel me? But like
But they don't have the need for us.
no. But like there is a need.
Yeah.
But
I'm saying they don't have one.
They do though.
I mean,
NBA. That's a need.
There's a
not like I
need,
play
but
basketball.
they need you.
Energy.
The same way that
I feel like
that men were utilized like hundreds of years ago. They would have men around for certain force or whatever, but they would take the fire away from them. So
I
that
feel
they
like,
were easily.
I feel like they utilize us.
Yeah.
I feel like they can't eliminate us, but they don't specifically have a need for us. If they could eliminate us, I believe they would eliminate us. I think black women, on the other hand, they would not, because they understand that once they eliminate black women, all life ends.
No.
Black men, they feel like we're just a byproduct of having black women around. They need black women to
how they
continue to
treat us.
produce.
That's exactly how
And
they
then
treat
black women produce black men by happenstance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From their perspective, I do a lot of thinking about what makes them tick and how they work, so that I can understand my enemy. You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's the way they think. That's my perspective, though.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, there is truth to that, which is why, like, I'll never be a part of any movement that uplifts black women but disregards black men.
Yeah.
Because to me, they're like
Democratic Party.
it's just one of us.
Yeah.
There is no separation.
No
of the
facts.
two.
No
You
facts.
can't talk
No,
about what could be done for the black community and leave black men out of the equation. I don't want nothing to do with that.
Absolutely.
You know?
It's not reality.
No.
It's an alteration of reality, which is not
I
reality.
don't want to be out here without y'all.
No.
I just
Likewise.
don't. Like, I really
No, for
don't.
real.
Like, I'm not
No.
trying to be out here trying to, black women, I ain't woman, hear me roar. Nah, man, I'm not, no.
No.
I don't want to be doing all that. I don't want to be out here without y'all.
I think that's to hear you say that is refreshing, because I think the
Feels
movement
good. It makes you feel good. Thank you. It really does.
The movement is anti that. The movement,
That's not the movement.
No, the
Right.
movement is.
But it's the truth, though.
It
the
is.
truth.
Even if we don't want to admit it as black women, the reality is it is a scary idea to even think of the possibility of being out here without y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I fear that for black women myself. I can't articulate it to black women that don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't understand it because a lot of them haven't gotten the benefit of it. Like, fortunately for me, I grew up and, my father is a very, like,
he military?
intricate part of
Is he
my
military?
life. He's a very intricate part of my life. And then I have 4 brothers.
Oh, that's what's up.
I don't have any sisters, so I'm the only girl. And so I've had that protection, and I know what that's like to have somebody care about you and love you to the point where they will sacrifice themselves for you.
Understand.
Now, some women have never had that.
Yeah.
So they could say that they don't need it because like they've never experienced it to know how wonderful it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That too is by design.
Right.
You know?
It definitely is, you know? So it's like, you know, once we get to the understanding of how much better it is.
Yeah.
Then, you know, it's something that we'll be more comfortable with saying.
Absolutely. And how you're speaking is definitely a reflection of how you're raised, but also of your training as an MGT. So, you know, and when to harp back on what I was bringing out earlier about the nature of the MGT, it's you come and you're saying you require a lot of us because you want us to be able to operate in the role that you need us to operate in.
Right.
And it's that responsibility that I feel when y'all are around. It's empowering, but it's also like, whew, I got work to do, and I have a lot of responsibility and weight on my shoulders.
Right.
So it's like literally like going into battle. It's like, and my experience of going into battle is competitive sports, and combat, MMA. You know what I mean? And it's like very similar, knowing that, oh, I've got a team behind me. I've got a whole nation behind me. Okay, I got this. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it means that I have to prepare for the fight. I had to prepare for the build, and I cannot do it by myself. But knowing that there is a whole field and a whole squad of the other side of God behind me, it's all I need. I got to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that I feel all of that when y'all are around. It feels like heaven. First and foremost, when I'm around MGT, it's just, okay. I'm like, okay, I'm good. It feels like heaven. Phew. But it's also like, got to get to work.
Yeah.
So I imagine, you know, I'm not married to MGT, and I have never been married to MGT, but I imagine that is the ideal dynamic of a FOI MGT relationship. It's just like, I love you, but we're both responsible. We both got work to do, and we're going to help each other do it. And that to me is heaven. So,
yeah,
which is work.
On that note, I think we should close it out.
Yeah, I think that
was an excellent place to end.
Yeah, that's where we get it, right?
I think we need to do this again. Maybe
Absolutely.
Part 2 at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm good.
No, this is it. And so like these meetings, these episodes, they're for the culture, but I use them for strategy and for work. And so it just so happens that it makes for great content. So I appreciate you being here, sister.
Yeah, I appreciate you all inviting me. It was definitely an excellent conversation.
Absolutely.
You know.
So you want to close this out?
I can do that.
Yes, sir.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alaihim ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. O Allah, we beseech your help and ask your mercy. We believe in you and trust in you for all that we need. We are helpers in your cause, and with your apostle, please grant to us success. Thank you, Allah, and we cannot thank you enough. Amin.
Amin.